My brother is demanding $50,000 from me because his ex-fiancée drunkenly confessed she was in love with me at their own engagement party, even though I warned him about her after she sabotaged my relationships. 5 years ago, my brother Matt was engaged to his then fiancée, Kate. They seemed like a great couple back then, and for a while everything looked like it was going perfectly. But things didn't work out, largely because of me. Well, sort of. Before you paint me as the villain, let me explain what really happened. Matt is only a year older than me, so we've always been closer than most siblings. We even went to the same university, where Matt met Kate. She was in his year, they hit it off fast, and started dating seriously. Since Matt and I shared an apartment, Kate spent a ton of time at our place, and it wasn't long before she and I became friends, too. At first I was happy. She clearly cared about my brother, and I respected her as his girlfriend. I always thought of her as Matt's girl, someone who might even become part of our family someday. But over time I started noticing things about Kate that made me uneasy, though I ignored it at first. She was way too friendly with me in a way that didn't feel appropriate. I chalked it up to her trying to get along with her future brother-in-law. After all, she spent so much time with us, it made sense she'd try to be buddy-buddy. Then some of my exes began to mention Kate unprompted. They'd tell me how awkward they felt whenever they came over and she was around, how Kate was overly possessive of me, peppering them with questions that made no sense since she was with Matt, not me. I brushed it off at first, thinking they were probably exaggerating or it was just typical post-breakup bitterness. But as more people said the same thing, I realized there might be something to it. Once, I was dating a girl in college. Let's call her Sarah, and things were going great. I really liked her. Out of nowhere, she dumped me, and I had no clue why. Later I found out that Kate had driven the breakup. Apparently, every time I brought Sarah over, Kate would belittle her, talk down to her, and even spread nasty rumors behind her back. Sarah told me Kate made her feel unwelcome, like she didn't belong in my life. Worst of all, Kate lied to Sarah, claiming I was cheating on her. Sarah believed it without ever asking me. It hurt to learn that Kate had deliberately sabotaged my relationship. When I confronted Kate, she admitted it but felt zero remorse. She shrugged it off, saying she didn't think Sarah was right for me and was just protecting me from a relationship that wasn't good enough. She framed it as doing me a favor, but it certainly didn't feel like one. It felt like an invasion of privacy and boundaries. That wasn't an isolated incident. Later on I was serious with another girl, Emily. For Christmas, I decided to take her home to meet my parents for the first time. Matt brought Kate along, of course. I'd hoped it would be a chance for everyone to bond, but it turned into a nightmare. Kate deliberately excluded Emily from family activities, made her feel like a stranger, and pretended she didn't notice. Emily later confessed she felt like Kate hated her, acting jealous and hovering over me, never giving us any space or privacy. It got so bad that Emily couldn't take it anymore and we broke up. I never knew if Kate actually had feelings for me, since she never said anything directly. And I didn't know how to handle it without causing drama between my brother and me. But I couldn't ignore how her behavior was ruining my life and relationships. Something had to give. Then came my birthday, and Kate gave me a gift. A gold chain with the initial K. It was flashy and expensive looking. I didn't know how to react. It seemed weird, even inappropriate, for my brother's fiancée to give me something that felt like a couple's gift. I joked that she must have mixed up parcels, since it looked more like something Matt should wear. Kate blushed, insisting she'd customized it just for me so no girls would hit on me. I clearly cringed, and she burst into tears before running out of the room. It was incredibly awkward, and I didn't know what to do. Later, I mustered the courage to tell Matt. He didn't seem bothered. He brushed it off, saying Kate saw me as family and I shouldn't overthink it. When I laid out all the past incidents, Matt said she was just protective and meant no harm. After that, I made a conscious effort to distance myself from Kate. I stayed polite but avoided one-on-one time, hoping clear boundaries would make her back off. When Matt and Kate graduated, I thought I'd have more space, but no. Kate started calling and texting me almost daily. Even if I ignored her or gave minimal replies, she literally wouldn't take the hint. Then Daisy came into my life. We met at a party through mutual friends, and I instantly felt a connection. At family events, Kate reverted to her old patterns around Daisy. She tried the same intimidation tactics she'd used before, but this time I was older, more self-aware, and less tolerant. I'd step in whenever Kate crossed the line, defending Daisy. Not that Daisy needed defending. She's strong, confident, and doesn't put up with nonsense. One incident stands out. Kate, knowing Daisy is severely allergic to seafood, chose a seafood restaurant for a family dinner. It was clearly meant to exclude and humiliate Daisy. I refused to go. Daisy called her out in front of everyone, pointing out that Kate had deliberately picked a place she couldn't eat. Kate first pretended she didn't realize it was serious, then turned nasty, mocking Daisy's allergy and accusing her of faking it for attention. That was the breaking point. My parents and I demanded an apology. She gave one, reluctantly and insincerely. The rest of us left to eat elsewhere, leaving Kate and Matt behind. After that, Daisy and I actively avoided Kate, and my parents agreed it was best. The only one still defending Kate was Matt. He kept begging me to reconsider, saying Kate felt hurt that I spent less time with her and blamed Daisy for the rift. He reminisced about the old days, asking me to visit more so the three of us could hang out again. But I made it clear. Daisy is my priority, and if Kate can't accept her, I'm out. Over time, my relationship with Matt soured. When he got engaged to Kate, he invited Daisy and me to celebrate at the engagement party. I wasn't thrilled about seeing Kate but went for my brother's sake. I left my feelings at the door. What I didn't know was that night would turn into a disaster we'd never forget. From the moment we arrived, Kate fixated on me. She gave me an awkwardly long hug and was visibly drunk. All night she hovered, flirting with me, touching my arm, making inappropriate jokes. I tried avoiding her, but the more I did, the more agitated she got. When Matt stood to give his toast, Kate snatched the mic mid-speech. In front of everyone, slurring her words, she confessed she'd been living a lie all these years. She'd always been in love with me, not Matt. My brother turned ashen. Kate, oblivious to the chaos, went on. She'd stayed with Matt just to be close to me, and resented Daisy for taking me away. Then, in front of our family and friends, she begged me to run away with her instead of marrying Daisy. She sounded desperate, like it was her last chance. Thankfully Kate's sister intervened, pried the mic away, and dragged her out while she wailed things like, "You're the love of my life," and "Don't let her get away with you." I didn't know where to look. Matt was standing there, shattered, humiliated. That night, Matt immediately called off the engagement. He cut all ties with Kate, and shocked me by cutting me off, too. For 5 years he's ignored my calls, texts, and even our parents' attempts to reach him. He's skipped every family gathering and never showed up at my wedding to Daisy, even though he was invited. Every so often our parents get a brief update, but that's it. None of us know why he shut us out so completely, since it wasn't my fault Kate acted that way. I'd been warning him all along. So when my phone rang this week and I saw Matt's name, I was floored. On the call, after some awkward small talk, he told me he's getting married in a few months. It was good news, so I congratulated him and asked if he'd invite our parents, Daisy and me. He said yes, but with a catch. He said he wouldn't accept an invitation with empty hands. I laughed, thinking he meant a normal wedding gift. I promised to find something great for his fiancée, Elia. But then he clarified. He wanted $50,000 from me. My brother wanted $50,000 as his wedding gift. For a moment I thought he was joking, but he wasn't. He told me it was payback for breaking his trust years ago, that it was the only way to make amends for what happened with Kate. He blamed me for not shutting Kate down sooner and letting her humiliate him in front of everyone. According to him, I owe him compensation for the public embarrassment and personal loss he suffered that night. With $50,000, he said he could start putting it behind him. Obviously, I told him he was insane to ask for that kind of money, but he's giving me a few days to think it over, and if I don't pay, our relationship is over forever. My wife thinks he's lost his mind, but some cousins are siding with Matt, saying maybe I should at least negotiate something since he went through so much. So, Reddit, what do you think? Before continuing, don't forget to subscribe. New stories every day. Update 1. My parents are just as shocked as I am by Matt's demand. When I told them he'd only reached out after all these years to ask me for $50,000, they couldn't believe it. They're outraged on my behalf, especially since they know everything Daisy and I went through because of Kate. My parents are firmly on my side now. We're planning to have a serious talk with Matt to lay everything out once and for all. We want to get to the bottom of what's really bothering him and understand his motives. Is he truly convinced that $50,000 will fix things between us, or is there something deeper driving his resentment? I also hope this conversation lets Matt see things from my perspective. I want him to understand that I was never the cause of what happened between Ellie and Kate, and blaming me won't heal his pain. To anyone wondering if I flirted with Kate or somehow encouraged her, let me be crystal clear. I never, ever, was attracted to her. From day one I treated her with respect simply because she was important to Matt. Any feelings she developed were entirely on her end. I never gave her any reason to think I felt anything beyond platonic respect. The moment I realized she might have feelings for me, I pulled away to protect Matt. Kate crossed boundaries over and over again, even when I distanced myself. She drove away several of my exes by lying, harassing them, and acting overly domineering. She got jealous and bitter when Daisy came into my life and made it her mission to mistreat her at every turn. Matt saw how uncomfortable I was and how hostile she was toward Daisy and my exes, yet he never addressed it with Kate. He didn't confront her or try to fix things. That hurts, because deep down I think he knew it was wrong, but he chose to look the other way instead of having a tough conversation with her. I don't believe Matt was unaware that Kate might have feelings for me. Instead of making a decision, he swept it all under the rug, hoping it would vanish. And seriously, what grown woman gets drunk at her own engagement party and confesses her love for her fiancé's brother? She disrespected her relationship with Matt, disrespected me, and disrespected Daisy. Despite the humiliation, I think Matt dodged a bullet with Kate. He should move on with his life now that he has someone new instead of clinging to the past. It's like he can't let go. Honestly, I feel relieved he and Kate are no longer together, because if they were, I'm sure this inappropriate dynamic would have continued indefinitely. And the worst part? Matt did absolutely nothing about it. Update 2. It's been a month since my last update, and last week, after a lot of back and forth, my parents, Daisy, and I finally sat down face to face with Matt. He'd been making excuses to avoid meeting, but my parents stood firm. They insisted we clear the air and at least try to rebuild what's been lost. The meeting wasn't easy. At first, Matt was defensive. He confessed he'd been holding a grudge against me all this time. He said he felt betrayed by Kate's behavior, and that drove him to distance himself. Then he dropped a bomb. He accused me of having had a secret romance with Kate, implying there was more to the story than either of us had admitted. I told him flat out I'd never do something like that. I'd always respected his relationship with her, even when she behaved inappropriately. Daisy jumped in to defend me, too. She pointed out that Matt and Kate's actions had hurt the whole family, not just him, and that we'd all been affected by Kate's toxicity. She reminded him of all the times he chose Kate's side over mine despite her awful behavior and said he should have seen it coming long before I did. Daisy told him straight up that what he was doing now was emotional manipulation, and he shouldn't punish me for something I was just as much a victim of. That at least gave Matt pause. I also reminded Matt how many times I'd tried to reach out over the years, explaining that we could have talked long ago. I wasn't the one who slammed the door. He was the one who shut us all out without any explanation. That's when Matt admitted he'd been too ashamed to face me back then. He said it all felt so overwhelming that he thought cutting ties was best for his mental health. While I could understand his need for space at the time, I still couldn't wrap my head around why, after all these years, he was asking me for money. That's when Matt finally confessed the real reason. The $50,000 he wanted was exactly what he'd spent on Kate over the years. Trips, dinners, gifts, everything related to their relationship. He felt that since Kate fell in love with me and that's why their relationship ended, I somehow owed him that money as compensation. He framed it like a debt I needed to pay. I sat there in utter disbelief as he tried to justify his ridiculous demand. I told him plainly he was just looking for ways to vent his anger at me. His focus should have been on Kate, the person who made those choices and caused all the pain, not me. If he wanted compensation, he should have asked her, not me. I wasn't the one who lied or crossed boundaries. Kate was. My mom couldn't stay quiet either. She told Matt he was completely out of line asking his brother for money and needed to stop acting like a lunatic. My dad agreed. That's when Matt turned on them, shouting that they always side with me and should stay out of it. You always support him no matter what, he yelled. Kate left me for him, and you're still on his side. He's the golden child. My parents, stunned, tried to explain they'd never played favorites. My dad said, Matt, that's not true. We've always loved and supported both of you equally. We never took sides, and we won't. But asking your brother for $50,000 won't fix anything, especially when he never did anything wrong. Matt didn't care. He announced that if I wasn't willing to pay up, he had nothing more to say. He even told my parents that since they sided with me, they were dead to him too. Then he dropped one last line. I blame you for Kate leaving me, and I'll keep blaming you. I'm never speaking to any of you again. You won't meet my wife or my future kids. You're all dead to me from today on. And with that, he stormed out. My parents tried calling him afterward, but it was useless. Since then, Matt hasn't contacted us. I've tried reaching him, but it looks like I'm blocked. Update 3. It's been 4 months since Matt cut us off, and by now I've stopped trying to reach out to him. I won't lie, it was hard at first. I kept wondering if I could have said something different or done more to save our relationship. But after all this time, the guilt is gone. I've accepted that I can't change what happened, and I can't force someone to talk to me if they don't want to. My parents, of course, still miss Matt. They love him, but they've accepted his decision. If he ever decides to reconnect, they'll be there. But for now, they've stopped insisting. Over the past few months I've even gotten DMs from people asking if maybe Matt was really just trying to get me to cover his wedding costs instead of settling things over Kate. Honestly, I don't know what was going on in his head. If he needed financial help for his wedding or something else, I'd have been open to discussing it and seeing how I could help. But that wasn't it. I made it clear his demand was about me. About some imaginary debt he thought I owed him for Kate's betrayal. He truly felt I was responsible for his heartbreak and that I needed to compensate him for the emotional damage he blamed on me. I just can't wrap my head around that. At the end of the day, it wasn't about the money. It was his misdirected anger and his total refusal to understand what really happened. I don't think Matt was thinking clearly, and I've had to accept that I can't change his mind. On a brighter note, Daisy and I are doing great. I'm grateful every day to have such a strong partner by my side. She's pregnant now, and we're so excited to become parents soon. Update 4. Here's a quick update on Matt's wedding, or rather, the non-wedding. The ceremony was supposed to be in a couple of weeks, but it's been cancelled by his fiancée. We've never even met her, so I don't even know her name. At least the person who told me about it didn't mention it. Apparently, she called it off because Matt is still in love with Kate. She never told him outright, but that was her reason for returning the ring so close to the date. Honestly, it doesn't surprise me. He's always made this whole drama about Kate instead of celebrating that he found someone new. I'm sure his fiancée was a wonderful person, though. I also heard she suspects Matt might be trying to win Kate back. That's not just a terrible idea, it's downright reckless. Not only has Kate already made it clear she doesn't love him anymore, but considering all the crazy things she did to me and my partner, she's definitely not wife material. The best thing Matt could do now is get professional help and truly move on from her. But he's made it clear he doesn't want us in his life, so we're not going to intervene. I don't expect to post another update about my brother, though people often say that and then come back. In my view, he doesn't deserve any more of anyone's time, neither mine writing about him nor yours reading it.